Today, we're finally revealing the truth.
Are we doomsday preppers or just gardeners?
So I'm here with Kevin from Epic Gardening, who, you know, to be honest, played a big influence on my gardening career. When I first got this place, naturally I went to YouTube to look for videos. Your stuff came up, and it felt like an alternate reality where our styles were very similar, I felt. I was just making cooking videos. You were making garden videos, so naturally I found your style of teaching and entertaining and production. It worked for me. So I learned a lot about this whole garden from you. Kevin and I have talked over the years. He's never been here, so it's exciting to have you here. Yeah. I don't think I've ever done a garden tour on the channel, so I thought it'd be fun to go around, check out all the spots, and just chat about it. Get your, you know, thoughts, your critiques, any knowledge, you know, any improvements, because I think we do a lot of the same things. We both have these sort of suburban homesteads, and we have a lot of the same systems of self-sufficiency.
Yeah, I mean, it's an amazing garden, and likewise, like when I got into sourdough, I came to Pro Home Cooks at the time, now LifebyMikeG. But yeah, let's take a look. I mean, we're in the raised bed garden right now.
So for me, the first thing I did was this beast right here. You know, I got the place, and the deer here are bad. I knew if I was planting so much food, investing in all of, you know, these crops, I needed protection, because the deer before I had the fence, they could wipe it out in one night. It adds a nice aesthetic to the garden. I find that the boundaries are nice, plus I can grow up on this trellis all around the garden, so it totally, you know, it added so much, almost doubled the growing space. Standard fence is 6 foot. Right. This is the 8 footer.
What can deer jump to, like 7 feet? Something crazy like that.
They, like, technically, like a really hungry deer could just pop right over. That's so wild. But you know, they don't. I've left the fence open a few times. A deer has gotten in here and just wreaked havoc, and it's a reminder of why I got this thing, because they will like incinerate your garden.
I don't have a fence style like this. I have a wooden horizontal fence. Yeah. And so like I'll screw in fixtures and do like a grape trellis that way. But I see over here, you have grapes just growing up this naturally, which is really nice.
Yeah, it's just like a reminder, you know, if you have the fence, use the fence. Yeah. Which brings us into the raised beds here. Here we have, you know, some beds I built. These are cedar beds. They've been going pretty well. You know, I find just having different kind of growing sectors is fun.
This is like the classic, I would say, classic raised bed, because you can DIY this, anyone can do it. You have this cool like irrigation grid here, which reminds me like how I started gardening, which was the square foot gardening method. Yeah,
that's the idea of this.
Right, so you can put like one beautiful bok choy right there, plant the zinnias on perfect spacing. Yeah, I mean, to me, this is like the classic kitchen garden
classic look. Right here. I wanted to have like one classic spot, and then, you know, as we get into the garden, you kind of create these different sectors.
Yeah, yeah, I'm seeing a lot of like fun zones, I guess you could say.
Which brings us into this zone right here. Yeah. This is a new bed. We started this as a grape trellis. Just, you know, a patch of grass. It's like, why not grow? You can see this corn is decimated.
Like I got munched by something.
A little munching. We were growing grapes on it, and what we realized this season was like, why not just plant in it before the grapes are developed? So we did the 3 sisters here, and it's just kind of gone off. Yeah.
Your sisters, you have the corn, the butternut,
How do I not have pruners? I'm going to get, let me.
Look at this guy. This guy is massive. This guy is absolutely massive. I took a sneak peek in his root cellar. I saw much smaller ones than this. So we're gonna do a little harvest.
Forgot this is a garden harvest as well. You take the basket.
You do the honors though.
This is butternut squash, nearly fully ripe.
Yeah, it's pretty damn close.
Oh! I will say, this year we just did so much like ground cover of squash.
Yeah, there's a ton over here.
And they're just everywhere. Like, and winter squash has been such a win for us, and they're so easy to grow. They're also so easy to store. Yeah. Like this is, think about how much food that is, you know, for the winter. That can just sit in your pantry. Boom, you're good to go. So then we're gonna move on to the orchard. So this is the orchard. I put this in right away because obviously fruit trees take forever to grow. Always just a dream to grow fruit. I love fruit. I know you like fruit as well.
Yeah, I've got like 30 trees maybe.
Yours are producing well.
Yeah, but it's been maybe 2 years more than you. Yeah. So it's just time.
They say like 3-4 years, like that's the moment. Like, and I feel like I'm just on the precipice, but it has been tough. But even just like pruning, raising these trees, learning about them, it's so fun.
The structure that you've pruned these too, I have to say, is like really nice.
Thank you.
Like a really nice sort of vase structure on the tree. You've mulched it well. It's looking good.
And I've got some spacers here to kind of spread out, give it some airflow. I saved you a pear.
Oh, one of my favorite fruits. Underrated fruit, I feel like. I feel like pears are often disrespected as a fruit.
I agree. Asian pears are my favorite. We're gonna have to share that. That literally is my last pear.
You can have the rest. It's so good though.
Juicy. I'm sure I love Asian pears.
Better than apples by far.
So juicy.
By far.
We do have apple trees. Didn't produce yet. I think it was too hot. I've got about maybe 15 trees in this area. And then on the fence line over there, more trees. I've got persimmons over there. I've got some cherry trees over there. I mean, anywhere I can grow a tree that's not in my like main annual garden beds, I'm growing trees.
I like them being over there because you're basically just reinforcing that fence line or that border line, but with more texture and obviously something edible, which is so nice.
And you do, like, I've seen in your garden, you've got the citrus grove.
I do the hedgerow.
The hedgerow.
Yeah, the hedgerow. That's what I find interesting about yours. Number one, you're planting stuff I can't really grow that well. All the stone fruits or the palm fruits like the apples, it's hard for me to grow. Citrus, easy for me to grow, but then you're planting it, I would say in a more classical sense, like you're going 8 to 10 feet away and you're going for huge honking trees.
Yeah.
And I planted my citrus in a straight line, 4 feet apart, 15 varieties.
And you see both work.
They both work, yeah, and I'm cutting mine to the same height and they're basically gonna become a wall, is the goal. And it's like, you know, it's probably a 6-year goal.
A wall of food.
A wall of food.
It's an incredible wall to have.
And I'm in a much more urban environment too, so for me, blocking that wall means I get like 8 feet of privacy and I get to feel like I'm actually in a place closer to this, surrounded by trees.
I love that. Yeah. That brings us into this area right here. This is classic market garden. You know, for me, I just absolutely love growing in the ground. If your soil can do it, putting down wood chips in the pathways, compost in the beds. Look at this, we got a soil inspection.
That's really nice.
This garden pumps out. This was the only place on the property they were like growing anything.
Oh, so this was kind of established when you first got here?
No. It was all weeds, but the soil was somewhat established underneath a lot of bullshit.
Okay, yeah.
There's something about, to me, the look of a garden like this. When you're doing, like, I like the look of the garden beds, but I also love this classic, what you would call market garden. I don't know, I like having both and also experimenting with what grows better in each. And
there's something about the symmetry, I guess, of a row farm that is very satisfying to me. I don't know what it is. Maybe we're of the same mindset, like that organization. So nice.
And also just the amount of food you can produce, and that's why, you know, it works for farms. So I've got all types of stuff in here. I've got some potatoes, bok choy, a lot of brassicas, like we're growing broccoli here and cabbage.
Chamomile there?
Chamomile,
like,
yeah. A bunch of big watermelons.
Oh, look at these guys.
It's your lucky day.
This is a great little yield.
Asian pear.
That's for the deer. Look at this guy.
Oh my God, this is the biggest watermelon I've ever grown.
So have you harvested any yet this season?
I have.
You know all the tricks and tips?
What do you got for me?
Okay, so
Tell me if you think we're good here.
You gotta look for the spoon leaf, which is this here, dying, which that's, I would say, mostly dead. But you want this tendril ideally to be dry.
A little bit more dry.
It isn't, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's bad.
There's another one right here.
And you can give it that knock too.
That is not fully dry. Okay, that one is fully dry.
How's the spot look on the bottom?
Really nice.
Yeah, it looks good.
Why don't we just get into this right now?
Get the small one?
You know, just...
You want to bust the knife out?
Yeah.
Let's see if we're right. You should do the honors though.
Kevin's job is on the line of pro watermelon ripeness.
You know, it is one of the
indicator.
harder ones to figure out.
It is.
It is, because you can't do anything but look for the external signs. I mean, so far so good.
So far so good. I see some red in there. There's nothing like field warm.
Oh,
it's a sunny day.
Tell me about it. You get that spoon, you come in with that spoon.
That looks pretty nice.
That looks pretty good.
Yeah, it's not like super dark, but that doesn't necessarily, it could be the variety.
Could be. Do you know what variety it is?
No idea. This looks good.
You got the seeds up in here.
I've had
the
a lot
juice is coming out.
Yeah, this looks really good.
Okay.
I think we're, as far as texture goes,
we're looking good.
The bees are already coming for us.
Structure good.
Okay. Thanks for being here.
Cheers, man. Oh yeah.
That's good.
That's good. I actually like a little more firm. Because, you know, sometimes you harvest it late, like disintegrates almost.
And it's so hard to find the perfect, like to me, I think it would get sweeter. You give it 2 more weeks, it'd get a little sweeter, but you would lose a little texture.
Then you got next season's watermelon. right there.
So hydrating.
Wow.
So good. We'll keep that there. Maybe some bees will get into it. We got a big pile of wood here. This to me is important to go over. It's really the foundation of my garden. This is the food forest style where I'm just bringing in dump trees. It's free, and this is all of the mulch, and then, you know, quickly it breaks down into soil. It will mulch the soil, but also it just absorbs water so well. So I don't have any flooding here, and there's just so much good water retention.
This is what I did when I first moved in. It was like a truly empty lot. Like they had scraped the sod off, and they'd put some like landscaper chips on, not this kind of stuff. Yeah. But like that's barely any.
You're working with like nothing.
Almost nothing.
Yeah, so which is insane what you've been able to grow on pretty much like just the dead
fill dirt, basically. Yeah. So I basically did this, but I just have way less trees in my area. So I used a service that'll partner up with arborists and drop them.
Oh, cool.
And so I probably took 7 or 8 of piles like this size and just spread it out. And then to me, the best part is like, if you know you're not going to garden in an area for a while, you just leave this pile here.
Let it break down.
And it'll break down. And then the best soil in your garden is going to be under this next year.
It's already breaking down here. It's been sitting here for, you know, you can see, it's been sitting here for like a month.
Yeah. Good place to grow mushrooms too.
Yeah, we have been spreading mushroom spores. So next, we've got the high tunnel here. It's surprisingly cool in here.
It's nice. Yeah.
Because this is one of the first parts that gets shade.
Yeah. And then you get the cross breeze coming through.
Yeah. This has, you know, been a little over a year growing in here, and it's just completely changed everything for me. I know you have your greenhouse. There you go, little garden goodie.
Yeah, I have a greenhouse, but mine's about 8 by 10 feet.
You're mainly what, seed starting in there?
Seed starting. I can grow like a mango in there, something like that. I grow coffee in there.
Nice.
But yeah, it's seed starting. It's like tropical rare houseplants, stuff like that.
Also aesthetically, you know, so pleasing.
It's a vibe.
It's a vibe. This thing is just like, the amount of food I can produce in here is just out of control. And also just the season extension. You're San Diego. Yeah. You don't need season extension. Yeah. But in here, I've been able to extend the season by like 5 months, which is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of like staring at the cherries. To get cherries this size and this health, like look at the leaves. There's nothing on the leaves.
These tomatoes are 5 months old at this point, which is crazy. You can see how we're doing.
They look 2 months old.
We're using the lean method, so this whole plant has just been leaned, and we chop away the old growth, and that's why they look so healthy. Look at this like bundle here. This is just out of control. This is 5 months in, and it's still just pumping.
It's crazy to see this.
This is how they're growing tomatoes commercially indoor. It's like you see how they just produce the most amount.
The lower and lean, if you have the setup for it, it's one of the coolest ways to grow.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. It's our first year doing it.
Got a water tank back here, yeah?
Yeah, water tank. We'll talk about that system now, actually. We'll head out of the greenhouse. One stop, actually, before that, we've definitely got some beautiful ripe figs.
Whew. How long have you been growing these guys?
So these have never done well until I got this greenhouse, because I put them in there, I overwintered, and now there's just so many figs on here. You can take that.
Look at that color. Figs to me, I don't know if you feel the same, they're the most alien looking fruit ever. Like they're disturbing almost to look at, but probably one of the best fruits.
Yeah. From growing them and getting like actual ripe figs, like I want more. It's kind of addicting to like.
You know how many varieties there are? There's hundreds of varieties.
I know, that's what's so addicting about it. And you can grow them in so many climates. Are you growing figs?
I've got one fig, the yellow long neck fig, so I'm talking a fig like this big.
Wow.
Massive.
Yeah.
And I'm growing it more
from the market the other day, like huge ass fig.
Just huge, yeah.
Water, that was a distraction. We're headed over to the water system.
This I love to see. This gets me going.
I honestly got a lot of inspiration from your setups. I know you do a lot of rainwater.
Yeah.
Coming off the roof, 1,000-gallon tank.
Yeah.
I would like to get to the point where, that could be emptied.
The first flush filter. There you go.
This isn't for drinking. A lot of people confuse that. You know, you'd have to filter the water, but the water coming from here is just so much better for the plants. It's why your garden loves when it rains and looks so good. There's no chlorine in here from the, municipal water. So this funnels over to the greenhouse, goes into that blue container, feeds the whole greenhouse with water, but I would like to have the whole property like hooked up. You have a 5,000, right?
I've got a 5,000, I think it's from the same company. It looks like the same style. Okay. And then I've got a 200 in the front yard. There's like a small little awning in the front. And then on my chicken coop and shed, it's connected to a 250. And then I got the pond, which technically captures like another 1,000 or two.
Oh, wow.
I would say, but I don't really use that for watering. But you could is the thing. So I've got fish in there, right? Yeah. So it's basically an aquaponic system. Yeah. And that is even better than rainwater because there's some nitrogen in there and all that. But I just get less water than you do in my climate.
That's true. It's like you kind of figure out what you need over time because this will refill, but I'm learning I need more. more.
Yeah, well, you'll get a summer rain, won't you?
You know, it will get dry in the summer, so I found I needed, like, this thing totally was used up, so I could use another. So you get no water at all in the summer?
We'll get, if we're lucky, we'll get one rain of like a 1/4 inch or so, but even that, it's like, you're not capturing much off of that.
So you need just much more.
So we're filling up in the spring, and then we're dispersing throughout all the summer, and then basically now-ish, September-ish, maybe we'll start getting rain and it'll fill it back up.
Okay. Over here, we've got standard 3-bay compost system.
Yeah. You've got these big, nice bays, and then 2 other systems too.
So this is all for just garden scraps, any type of foliage, any plants. Over here is food scraps, because this will protect from, you know, critters and these things. I've had even cheaper ones that got eaten through. These babies will protect nicely from whatever's gonna
Otherwise you get like rats coming in or something, right?
Rats, anything, raccoons. Gotta have that compost, you know, in the garden system. And we move on to the chickens.
They know you're here.
I know you're a daddy to...
I'm a chicken father. Yeah, less than you. I got 8 now. I lost a couple, unfortunately.
Yeah, that will happen. That's actually why I have this right here. This is a new addition, this net that has changed the game. The hawks in this area. Do you have hawks?
I have them, but they don't come in on the chickens as much as I think yours might.
Okay. No, these hawks are ruthless. They will take a chicken before your eyes. Like, they don't even get, like, they're crazy, and they just don't care. So this has completely kept them safe so they can still forage.
Oh. They're gonna take you along for the tour. So do they come up in this, or are they getting to this level?
Oh yeah, so no, they're not eating from here. I've been fermenting feed. I did a short on that.
Yeah, let me give them a scoop. Yeah. So how do you do it? What are you doing to ferment?
It's like, just adding, oh,
sorry.
She got hungry.
I just splashed her.
The fermented feed is just adding water to the feed because there's sugars in the grain. The sugars get released and they start fermenting.
Yeah, I haven't messed around with this method yet. I should try it.
Yeah, it's great. It makes the food go further. We've got the continuous rainwater circulation system here. That was a huge build. Saves me a lot of time. Never have
And that heats up in the winter too, so it doesn't freeze the pipes, right? We got an egg over here maybe?
Yeah, let's see.
Oh, we got a lot of eggs.
There you go.
3. Is there another over there? Yeah. Look at that. Do you have any of the fun colors? I don't have any that do that.
You don't have, you know, all white?
No, it's brown and white, but I don't have like the Easter egger style.
Specifically, I've chosen the breeds over the years to give me multicolored eggs, which I just find is like one of the best parts about raising chickens.
I did the exact opposite. I chose them for the look of the hen. I wanted crazy looking hens, but I didn't care about the egg, and you went the opposite. Yeah.
I think it's like, where else can you get multicolor eggs, which is great.
I think it might crack, but we'll see how it goes.
This sort of rounds out the outdoor section. This is a little perennial bed. You know, it's not really flowering too much right now because obviously we are in September, but this thing pumps, you know, and brings in so much pollination and just beauty.
Spring,
it's really nice. I know you're a big flower guy, which I appreciate.
I'm becoming one for sure.
You've got the rose trellises.
I grow like a bunch of wildflower mixes. I'll do something kind of like this, but in an in-ground bed, kind of near the edible garden, and I'll do it as a border planting. I'll just sprinkle a mix and just let whatever comes come, you know? So not so much perennials, but one day.
Nice.
One day, yeah.
And yeah, we'll head inside. Got some Epic 6 cells.
I see a product I recognize here. Roots are looking good on these. You like them?
These are ready. Yeah, I mean, I've had these for years. I don't know why you would have any other type of like plastic shitty ones, because they just, you can reuse them.
They crank, yeah.
These are ready to go out. We've got brassicas, cilantro, fennel.
That'll be really nice.
All right, we'll go inside.
It's where the real magic happens in your...
Yeah, let's go downstairs. We've got a very important room.
This is maybe my favorite thing I've seen so far. This is like, I dream of a room like this.
This is, you know, we only see gardening on your channel, but obviously it's all got to go somewhere. We're in the fermentation cellar. And to be honest, this is really one of the first years we've been able to start filling this thing up.
Yeah, look at these.
It's like, I built it 4 years ago with the plan that one day it would be filled with stuff.
You'll grow into it, literally.
And it's like, it's gardening, you know, it takes time to get it right to increase your harvest, but every year I feel like you just get better and better.
These are nice, man. These are really nice.
And we're storing onions and potatoes and a lot of squash, and then canned goods, canning that summer, you know, that summer
all sorts of different pickles, like spears, slices.
And then fermentation, I got beer and miso and like all types of, you know, everyone's seen.
Oh, you got some mead going.
Yeah, I got some mead brewing. Wow. You'll have to take one of these to the rest of your
my journey out here. Slam a mead on the way home.
Actually, you gotta check this out. This is great. We've got an entire, this would be a cold fermentation room. Fermentation fridge, I'd call it. So this is all lacto fermented. So that was canned. So that's like shelf stable. So that's miso.
9 months.
Yeah, so that just goes for years. We've got sauerkrauts, we've got pickles, guanciale. Love the preservation.
Yeah, this is like the next era I'm entering, I think, on the channel, is getting deeper into this side of it.
Yeah, because this to me is like, this is the stuff that's really hard to obtain, high quality stuff without having, growing your own food.
Where are you getting this, right? True. Where are you getting watermelon rinds, which are fire?
This stuff to me is the most expensive. Like, that's why if you can make it at home, you really can save a lot of money because it's just so expensive to get good preserved
And it's
stuff.
not that hard to make once you understand the science of preservation, right?
Oh yes, forgot about the freezer. We've got, chimichurri, things from the summer we're preserving. Kale, not packaged well.
Frozen kale.
Corn chowder.
Lamb juice.
Lamb juice, that was from a video, Lamb juice. A lot of summer preservation.
So nice, man.
Yeah, that's the idea, self-sufficiency, just growing and preserving. If I'm telling someone about what I'm doing and they don't quite get it, they're like, oh, I know where to go if things go down. Like, they think it's like a doomsday prepper type thing.
Yes, all the time.
That's not the self-sufficiency that I'm after. It is just more like the feeling of like, I can be self-sufficient. I'm interested to hear if there's, any doomsday prepper.
I'll get that comment all the time. Or especially, remember when the pandemic started.
Yeah.
I was growing quite a bit at that time. Be like, oh, I'm coming over, I'm doing this. I'm like, look, like the type of self-sufficiency you and I are approaching this as is like, I can grow and eat healthy things that I want and I can transform them into different preserves and ferments and stuff for many years. And I don't have to worry so much about being reliant. But like, if really shit did hit the fan, I'm not
You'd be better off than most.
I'd be better off than most, but I'm still struggling. It's not like I'm out in the rural sticks on 50 acres with like a freezer full of cow or something.
Yeah, it depends on how much it hit the fan.
If it moderately hit, like kind of in COVID times.
COVID was a...
I tried this. I said, how could I live off my garden if I really had to, 2019. And this was in my old place, like small garden. I just grew like 120 pounds of potatoes and then I ate those for a month. And it worked. So it's like possible, but you wouldn't really like that life, right? Very much. So.
Well, yeah, man, we're just doomsday preppers when it really comes down to it.
Yeah, we've now pivoted the content. We're both preppers.
Exactly. Thanks for coming over.
Thanks, man.
Super fun to finally have you after, all of the inspiration you've provided me with the garden.
Likewise.
And I'm excited to see how our paths continue to cross now that we're both growing and cooking.
More collabs coming soon,
Follow
guys.
this man if you have not yet.
Thank you.